Yeah, well, great to see you guys. Feels like a few of us been on like a 5-week tour together. So let's see if we can keep it going. But obviously, guys, it's an incredible honor to be here in Indianapolis at the Final Four, and the state of Indiana and Indianapolis in particular, is the center of the basketball universe a lot of times, and it's with the history and tradition of the game and what it means to the state. It's an incredible honor to be representing the University of Arizona and ready to play on Saturday. One of the detriments to international recruiting back in the day was, if a kid wanted to get paid, the European clubs, could pay them legally, and obviously we couldn't. So now that hurdle's been taken away, you're seeing more and more good players, from Europe that are willing to come over. I think it's going to settle down here in a little bit. It just, with everyone trying to figure out this convoluted notion of who's eligible, who's not eligible, kids coming over at 21. I think that'll settle down. Like all our international guys all came over at 18, 19. So like normally just had graduated from high school type of thing. So I think we'll see in the next year or two, we'll get back to that deal. And I hope it stays part of the game. It's a global game. And there's a lot of good players over there. And I think it'll help make the college basketball product stronger than ever. Yeah, I mean, Yvonne's been great from day one, but what's been really cool is I think, his role has expanded over the course of the season to where he's become one of our better playmakers and passers, and he's has a knack in these games to kind of create scoring opportunities at his own in critical moments. So, he's been great defensively all year. He has a winning mentality and a winning approach to the game, and it's been really cool to watch him have consistent success, but then even be able to take it to another level as we got down the stretch of the season. I know where you're going with this, but guys, I'm like, I must have a blind spot when it comes to fashion or uniforms or headbands or shoes. I just never really noticed that stuff. So, I couldn't even tell you what uniforms our guys have been wearing. I just usually know for the team in the dark jerseys or the lighter jerseys, and I don't got much beyond that. Now, if Briggs is going to come up, that's our equipment manager, for those of you that didn't know, he can come up and do his own press conference later, and he can help you.
We can schedule a Briggs a time if you'd like, Coach.
Oh, Briggs, I don't know if we have enough time in the day.
Yeah, I think he's a star. He feels like a star. Third row on the right side?
Well, it's 22 years from an assistant to a head coach. Guys, I'm a team guy. Like I have really difficult time individualizing things for myself, especially. So, when we were at Gonzaga making those runs, I mean, I'm sure I wanted to win as much as I did now for the team. And for me, I say this often. My strongest motivating factor is our community and our fans. I know how much this run has meant for them to kind of get over the hump after 25 years to get back to a Final Four. And if there's a way we could win a couple games here, I think it would be really special for our community, and that would make me more excited than anything. Well, it's very different. I mean, the third, I can't remember my room number, but it was on the third floor of the Marriott, and we were there for about a month. You didn't leave the hotel, and it was really interesting at first. I mean, all the teams in the tournament were in basically this run of hotels right here, and we were kind of all connected, and so we were kind of all, I guess, whatever, quarantined or whatever you want to call it, together. So it was really cool to be in close proximity. There may or may not have been a lounge that was created by the coaches that they all hung out at night together, which was really cool. Just you went in there and you built some relationships with coaches, and then it was like almost like being on one of these reality shows. And the next day, Coach X would be gone. He would have been sent off the island, and you're like, man, I'm sad they lost. We don't get to hang out tonight. So definitely a different experience. And so now, it's just kind of the monster of the Arizona fan base and our traveling crew that just are hanging out together. But definitely a different experience. But I look back at that 2021 experience with fond memories. And the NCAA and the city of Indianapolis did an amazing job pulling off the NCAA tournament at a time when we needed We needed that type of thing, and just the game of basketball, but for our entire country, just to be able to celebrate together. The best answer I can give you, I think it all comes down to just really good players. And, obviously, when you talk about freshmen, I think there's an assumption that they're inexperienced and youthful. And, but some of these freshmen are maybe more experienced, than we give them credit for. I mean, some of these guys, they played in state championship games, they played in gold medal games, they've done these AAU circuits that I know that you frequented a little bit around, and these kids are maybe a little more worldly than people give them credit for. And then, it depends on how they've been raised and their maturity level. So our freshmen, I literally don't look at them as freshmen right now. I just look at them as good basketball players. And I felt the same thing with John's team at Duke last year. We played them twice at the start of the year. Yeah, maybe they're young. We played them at the end of the year in the NCAA tournament. They were just really good, and so to me, that's the formula: is just really good players. Well, it was critical. I mean, for the makeup of our team, that those guys were maybe able to accept a role that I had kind of envisioned for them, and I thought what would be best for the team. Tobe, he actually volunteered. It was his idea to come off the bench. And he's such a mature guy and such a good player. I think he came in and he said, Big Mo, had an injury last year. And, he's a developing player and he's really worked hard to come back at full strength. And I think it would be a boost for his confidence if he started. And Koa, here's this elite, highly recruited freshman. He's never not started. And Tobe said, I have experience not starting, so I think it would be better for Koa to keep him in a role he's comfortable with. And that was his idea. Delhi, when I talked to him about it, I think Delhi, in full honesty, would have liked to start. And I kind of told him what my vision. I felt like we needed a kind of a sniper off the bench. And I think having that, somebody that can fulfill that role was going to be really important. And another reason, probably the most important reason I came with that is, well, not only is Braden a good player, but I knew Braden was going to spend some time at the point. So I didn't want, especially our schedule was so tough early, I didn't want Braden coming off the bench, to sub for Bradley, say Bradley picks up an early foul, and now you have this freshman who is youthful and trying to gain experience, running the point, his first minutes in the game. So I wanted, his first minutes of the game at the point guard to come after he'd been on the court for a few minutes as a two or a combo. And so that was kind of the reasoning. And I'm thankful for Delhi and Tobe for being so mature and such great teammates and accepting that role, because without them doing that, we would not be here right now. Listen, I got my full focus on this team. Nothing is distracting me. And that's just how I've decided to approach it. I'm excited. I thought we had a really good practice today. I'm excited to plan for a practice tomorrow. And Myron, you've got to know me over the years. I'm a simple guy. I'm kind of just one thing at a time. I'm not a multitasker. You can ask my wife. So I'm 100% locked in on Arizona basketball right now, and I'm excited to see what this team can do. I have a real strong belief in this team, and this team deserves my full attention, so that's what I'm giving them.
Front row on the right side.
This is all Bookman, PHNX Sports. You mentioned Delhi a little bit earlier ago, but, in the Final Four, we always see unsung heroes with Dwayne and Delhi both, especially Delhi having some moments against Iowa State, Houston, so on and so on. Yeah. How important can they be in this game against Michigan with the matchups? Incredibly important.
Like, I think you're right. There's always an X factor. There's always somebody that steps up, for the winning team that maybe you didn't expect. And, everyone on our team has had moments this year where they've been that guy. And so I just tell our guys, you never know, when that moment's going to come. So of course you want to be prepared for it, but also don't be scared of it. When you get a chance to make that shot or make that play or get that rebound, do it with conviction. And so that's what I talk about. And because there's no shame in the ball not going in, so that's it. But that's a great question, because, it'll be interesting to see, who, from maybe the role players on each team is able to kind of step out and have a game, because that could be a difference maker. Yeah, that's interesting. He's a great kid, and he has a ton of energy and a ton of spirit. it's been an interesting journey because, to be honest with you, he's maybe not at the level of player as most walk-ons, but watching him navigate that's been impressive because it's not easy to show up in a room every day and, if you see him stand next to Tobe Awaka, you're like, okay, how's he going to function in practice? So to see his personality grow over the last 2 years and him gain confidence and comfort and finding other ways to contribute has been impressive. Jackson's a really smart young kid with great energy. I've enjoyed watching him navigate, this process because what I'm going to tell you is it's not easy. Being a walk-on is not easy. Being a manager is not easy. It's a massive amount of sacrifice you have to make, and especially when you put on that jersey. That jersey means something, and to be able to keep your confidence, as a person, when maybe you're not up to the level as a player is something that I've been really impressed that Jackson's been able to do the last couple of years. Man, when I first saw Mo, I thought, this is going to be the next great big man from Lithuania after Sabonis, and I'm sure there's a few others in between there, but that was my first thought, and it's been really cool to watch him kind of grow into that. He had a solid freshman year for us. But I think like a lot of international kids, he came over and maybe thought it was going to be a little bit easier than it really was. And then the second year, I thought he was, prepared to make the jump we've kind of seen now. Then he had that injury. So for him to hang with it and kind of, this is his third year. He obviously redshirted last year, but his third year, it all kind of happened. It's really cool to see because just the patience and perseverance and endurance it takes to be a good player is really, really hard. And so I'm happy that he's having some success.